Good morning, friends. I hope that your week has been good. I know it's been continuing to be kind of weird to be home and not together. But I hope you always remember that even if we can't be together in the same space, we're still a church family. You are not alone and we are not alone. We're still together even though we're not in the same space. Now, Winston, I don't know if you knew this, but his favorite drink on the planet is orange juice. He loves orange juice so much, more than apple juice, more than pineapple juice, more than grape juice. He thinks it's the best juice. But here's what we have to remember about Winston. He's not a very big dinosaur. So he only drinks about a half cup, right? This is a half cup measuring cup. Now we've been talking about parables. Parables are stories that Jesus told using everyday objects to tell us something very important about who God is in our life. Now, today's parable is about a farm. And it's not just any farm, it's a grape farm. And it starts out with the farmer needing some help because it's a big farm and he needs all sorts of people to come and pull the grapes and put them in containers and, mess with the soil, do all these things, all this labor, and he can't do it all himself. So someone comes to him in the morning and says, "Hey, can I work in your vineyard for pay?" And this vineyard farmer, this grape farmer says, "Of course you can. Come on in. I have a ton of jobs." So this person sets to work at like 8 a.m. in the morning. And then lunchtime rolls around and there's another person. And they say, "Hey, grape farmer, can I please work in the vineyard for pay?" And this farmer still needs a lot of help. And so he says, "Yes, of course, come in and work for pay." And then it gets to be about 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll pull these guys back so you can see them all. And there's a third person that comes in and says, "Hey, I would like to work on the farm too. I have been looking for work all day and no one will let me work on their farm. Please, 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 will you let me work for pay?" And the grape farmer, this vineyard owner, says, "Of course, come in and work for pay." And so at the end of the day, when all the work is done, it's like 7 p.m., everyone's tired and hungry and wants a snack, everyone's ready to go, they come in for their pay because that was their deal. They said, "Can I work today for some pay?" And God, who is the vineyard master, right? The vineyard master says, "Okay, here's your pay." And he gives every single person the same amount. Just like I am putting the same amount in all of these containers. Now, when we listen to this story, we hear the problem, right? This person worked all day. They worked 12 hours and they still got the same amount of pay. And this person worked for like an hour and a half at the very end of the day and still got the same pay. And this person showed up somewhere in the middle and they each have the same. And when people were originally listening to Jesus, they would have been thinking the same thing. Why do all these people get the same pay even though they didn't do the same amount of work? Now, if you were with me last week, this kind of builds on what we were talking about. It can be really upsetting to feel like we can't do our work or do our school or do all of these things that we normally are able to participate in. It's really upsetting. And we tell ourselves sometimes that our value, our worth, the stuff that makes us awesome is totally tied up to what we can do. And when that happens, it can make us, at this time where we're not allowed to really do our regular schedule, feel like we're not valuable anymore. But this is one of the ways that Jesus talks about value, because it had nothing to do with how much these workers did. It didn't matter what shape or what size or where I got them. I think I got this container at Target. These guys came in a glass set together, right? Like these other factors that sometimes we tie up with what makes us great aren't what God is looking for. If orange juice is God's love, if orange juice is God's grace and compassion, God is giving us all that we need. Just like each one of these containers has enough orange juice for Winston. More than enough, in fact, right? No matter which glass he gets, this is exactly enough orange juice that he will feel totally full of orange juice and not need anything else. God's love has nothing to do with what you do or what rules you follow. God loves you because of who you are, because of how you be in the world, not because of how you do or how you look or what kind of capacity you think you have. God's love and grace come to us equally, no matter how good or bad or hardworking or anything else. So as we go throughout our week and we start to feel those big bad feelings about how we're not doing enough schoolwork, or we're not doing enough work at our job, or we're not doing enough reading, or we're not doing enough feeling happy feelings, right? Sometimes we feel a lot of pressure to still be okay, even though the whole world feels like it's not okay. Be gentle with yourself, because everything that is amazing about you is still intact. It's still there, because you are a child of God. And at this time, God is giving us enough love for ourselves, for others, and to love God right back, so that even when our doing is interrupted, we hold on to who we are. We are children of God, and we are a community, which means that we are not alone, and we are loved by God to our fullest capacity. As much as we can possibly intake of love, that is the amount of love that God is giving out. And that is the best thing. Have a good week. I miss you guys. I love each one of you. I pray for you every day. And I just, I cannot wait until we are safe to come back together. Have a good week.